Hi there, gorgeous lady, it's Tara here. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a practice for you if you are feeling disconnected from yourself, ungrounded, uncentered. This is going to be a beautiful way to bring you back into connection with your heart, your body, and into that sense of centeredness. So, how would you know if you are feeling disconnected from your body, from yourself, from others? Well, this is something that can show up in terms of you find that actually your head's almost in a spin, where you're spending so much time in your head, overthinking, overanalyzing. Perhaps you're feeling very overwhelmed by your emotions, that sort of tsunami, that I always think of it almost being in rapids when we've got very strong emotions happening. They're very quick, they're very powerful, and they can feel like they're tussling us around. There can be that sense of emptiness no matter what you do. Actually, there's no real feeling. Sometimes people describe this as feeling numb, or others may just that sense of emptiness, aloneness, loneliness, difficulty in finding contentment. Perhaps you're feeling out of touch with other people, no matter, when you see people or connect with people, it's almost like you can't feel them, can't let them in. Or maybe you're coming into this very big, questioning. Who are you? What's your purpose? Perhaps you're feeling a lack of feeling a lack of meaning in your life, right the way through to that sort of constant sense of uncertainty, of doubt of yourself. This questioning, the doubting, the overthinking, the overanalyzing, and that numbness can be very strong indicators that at some point you've disconnected from not just your body, like physically, but also your emotional body too. So what may cause this to happen? In my experience, what I see and what I've experienced personally is when experiences have gone on in my life that have been too much. It's like they've been incredibly emotive. They've come with a lot of pain, and it's like, okay, I need to get out of here. I don't want to be feeling this anymore. So I begin to close down, and there can be this shutting off in terms of a level of protection, certainly our heart space, and also just that wanting to put some distance between you and what you are feeling and experiencing. So fertility journeys, I see this so prevalently with women who have experienced baby loss, early pregnancy loss, who've been through fertility treatment. This is such a big part of that journey, can be that disconnection from the body, especially when there's been very invasive procedures as well. There can become this physical disconnection. Again, as anything that's going to spark a sense of grief and loss, our hearts are beautiful, but they can hurt. They can really hurt. And when they felt wounded by something, then they can start to close down and it's almost like the shoulders come in to wrap around and protect the heart. Also, being an empath or a highly sensitive person can lead to this disconnection. When you feel so deeply, not just only your own stuff, but other people's stuff, the globe stuff, and that can be in itself massively overwhelming, and there can want to be some distance put between everything that you're feeling and experiencing. So all of these will start to, or has the potential to start us distancing from ourselves, coming out of ourselves, coming up into our minds, and creating a sense of separation, not only within ourselves, our bodies, but also to those around us. So what can you do about it? Well, this very beautiful and simple technique is also one of the most powerful ways that I have come across to really help bring you back into your body. And it will do this by, firstly, because you are physically touching your body, and secondly, by the places that we are placing our hands. These are our energy centers of our heart, but also our creation center. These are going to be inviting us back into our bodies and back into, especially for us as women, are very, these create so much of our essence, create so much of who we are. So by placing our hands here, they physically start to stimulate because of the physical touch, but they also start to communicate with our bodies and these energy centers and begin to invite a connection. So when we begin to connect with these parts of our bodies, it is not unusual for us to start feeling a lot, because, as we've already explained, often what we've done is we've created this separation, this disconnection, so that we can stop feeling. So when we invite that back in, anything that we tried to push away or separate ourselves from actually begins to reawaken. So when you first begin this practice, and I do recommend that this is a practice and something that you adopt, at least several times a week, but you can do this very easily throughout the week as well, throughout the day, just bringing your hand on your heart to help bring yourself, back into your heart space. Then over time, you will actually find that you know what to either do with these emotional surges when they come up, or actually they're just not as strong. It becomes a much gentler exchange. And that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because for us to heal, we have to feel. And when we haven't been allowing ourselves to feel for a little while, we're going to have a lot vying for our attention. However, when our bodies know that we are listening to it, when our bodies know that we have its back and that we are actively conversing with our bodies and looking to take care of our bodies, then what they do is that there's a lot more trust that starts up, and so it's not quite as intense. And I do recommend for this that you either have a journal nearby or something that you can do a voice note onto, so that you are, as stuff is beginning to come up, you are not wanting to push it away, you are not wanting to judge it or come, shoulds do not come into this practice in any shape or form, but that you have a space, if it feels right for you, to get curious in and then express, allow whatever comes up to be able to have its voice, its expression. So what is the practice that I'm talking about? It's very simply placing your left hand on your heart and your right hand over your womb space. And then beginning to breathe. And for this, you might want to keep your eyes open, or you can close them, whatever feels comfortable, or you might just want to lower your gaze. Now this might be as far as you want to go, especially if you've been having things like fertility treatments. This might feel major work for you. And if you find even having your hand over your womb space too much, bring it up and lay it over your hand over your heart space. But if it feels comfortable, continue. Stay here with your hand on your heart and your other hand on your womb space, and breathe. And if available to you in the time that you have, just beginning to pull your attention and your awareness from your day and begin to bring it in. Perhaps bringing it into this hand that's on your heart. What can you feel? Perhaps beginning to tune into your heart that's beating underneath your hand. So with this, you're not looking to change anything or force anything, but to get curious, to bring loving awareness into your body, into this experience, and get curious with what you find. And you may choose to sit like this for a minute or two, or perhaps if you have longer, you might want to take this into a longer meditative practice of 10, 15 plus minutes, however long you have available. And allow yourself to simply become aware of what comes up, what happens with your breathing, what thoughts, feelings, emotions. And if they feel a little bit owie, just breathe. And just keep breathing. Remember, this is an act of love. You're bringing loving awareness to your body and coming in with that energy of curiosity. Beautiful. So if this has resonated with you, please do feel free to leave a comment. Or if there's somebody else that you know who could benefit from this, share this video with them, tag them into it. This is such a powerful time for us to really start to come back to our bodies, to help feel more centered and connected. And know that, we all go through these things in life, and the journey back to ourselves is one of the most beautiful gifts, because that allows us to feel connected to ourselves and with others. And that's when we really are in a place of where we get to be in the world in a way that feels best for us. So any questions, please do reach out, personal message me, know that that's available. But I'd love to know how this has resonated. Leave comments below, and from my heart to yours, wishing you a beautiful connective practice to your heart. Much love.